Hi FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Robin, and you found my channel, Lady Robin. So, welcome! Today is my FlossTube number 67. I had to glance down at my notes, and it is the 9th of March. We are coming up on St. Patrick's Day. It is very exciting. We are moving out of winter, and spring will be here before we know it, which sounds perfect to me. I like sun, as we have discussed before. Okay, in honor of this last 3 days, Nashville Needlework Market, I decided I would find my Nashville Starbucks You Are Here mug, and I would make myself a delightful beverage. So here we are. Here is our mug of the day. I decided in honor of Needlework Market, we needed the Nashville mug. So there we have it. Isn't that clever? Look at all those buildings that are actually guitars. I just love that thing. And what am I drinking today? Well, yesterday I met my friend Erin, who you probably know is the 2 Martini Stitcher here on FlossTube and Instagram. And we went to our local needlework store, L&S. We like our acronyms, as you know. And we did just a little bit of shopping, and we went over to the Issaquah Coffee Company, which is in the Gilman Village, and we, of course, socially distanced. We had our masks on, and I had the greatest latte ever, and it was cinnamon, vanilla, and caramel. Yum. So I am trying to recreate it here at home, and let's give it a try, shall we? I think I got close. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so with our lovely latte in hand, we can talk about cross stitch, because that is what we do here on a FlossTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy that you're here. I am also Lady Robins on Instagram, so you can follow me in 2 places if you're interested in doing that. On a FlossTube channel, it's all about the cross stitch. That's what we're going to talk about. I will admit that there is not a lot of whips to show, and the wheels have fallen off the bus. There's a lot of haul to show. So buckle in, get your enabler vest strapped on, because I did do some purchasing this last week. So I have plenty of haul to trot out and show you. But I do have a finish, an FO, a finished object. So let's start with that. It's right behind me on my ironing board. Usually I don't have the ironing board up, but since I have a finish, I ironed it, and I'm getting ready to lace it on some mat board. So, what did I finish? I finished the March Snowflower Diaries Joyful World piece. And I will admit, I did a little editing on this piece. There are supposed to be some blue diamonds kind of around the March area, and once I got to this stage of the stitching, I decided I didn't really feel the need to put in those blue diamonds, so I didn't. I just went with the flowers and the leaves and the animals, and decided that works for me. So no blue diamonds. If you are stitching this, you're gonna declare I cheated, which is fine. We all get to cheat, right? I didn't think they added anything to the piece, and I just wanted to be done and move on. So what that means, you guys, is a previous finish that I'd done, and this was probably last year. I finished April, and I've never FFO'd it, so I'm going to finish March and April at the same time. So I will have 2 of these ready to go back to back and put up on my little display board in my hallway. So I've got finished objects here, you guys. I am really excited about that. And then that means I'm thinking I'm going to take a break from Snowflower Diaries stitching for right now because I've got April ready to go. And I think at the beginning of April, I think I'll start May, and then maybe that way I can continue getting those all filled in throughout the year, so they will all be up because they're all adorable. If you're new to my channel, I have talked about the Snowflower Diaries before, and they're free patterns. You do have to go to the gal's blog. So if you just go on Google Snowflower Diaries blog, you will find her blog. It's pretty much the first or second thing that comes up. However, you have to be a really good searcher because she released those, and I think it was in 2014. So you have to scroll, a little ways back to find them, but you'll find them. They are there. And of course, because blogs post the newest to the oldest, what you're going to come across first is December, and then you'll just have to keep scrolling back to get the other months. But they are all there. They're waiting for you if you want to stitch them, and they all have pretty much the same cool Art Deco-y border, and then each month has a different animal, and they just couldn't be sweeter. So, Snowflower Diaries, you'll find it. Yeah, if you want to do it, there's still a hashtag. It's Joyful World Sal. I looked that up. Joyful World Sal. So you can tag your posts on Instagram with that Sal if you want to. And I haven't put March up on my Instagram feed yet, so I'll probably do that later today. There's tons of beautiful stitching to look at, and what's really cool is when I was looking through that hashtag, there are people that stitched it all as one piece, so like a 3x4. It's beautiful, really pretty. So it's beautiful that way too. All right, so that is my FFO FO finished object. I'm going to turn it into an FFO, a fully finished object this week. That's my plan. And before you ask, I have not done anything about finishing the Christmas Carol Sal this week. We drove down and visited my mother-in-law. She lives in Hood River, Oregon. She's in an assisted living apartment, and that just took out a day of doing crafty things in the garage. But I'm hoping that maybe this week I will have time to paint that frame like I showed you last week and see how it goes, and we'll just see if white works or if I have to go with a color. I had to giggle. Somebody suggested, Robin, you should paint it green. Green is calling my color. And I'm not laughing at you because that's exactly what I think. I think green would be fantastic. But my husband and my son are like, you paint everything green. My house is green. Our kitchen is green. Green's my favorite color, so that is pretty much my default when I'm going to paint anything. So I'm trying really, really super hard not to default to green yet again, which is why I'm not painting that frame green. I'm going to try painting it white and then distressing it a little bit so it doesn't look quite so new out of the box. So anyway, there you go. All right, so what else did I get up to? As you know, I am participating in WIP-Go, which is basically, cross-stitch bingo, and WIPs, W-I-P, works in progress. So WIP-Go, you just create a 5x5 grid, you plug your WIPs in, and then every month, 2 numbers are called, and those are the pieces that you work on. So this week, I stitched only on 3 things, and one of them is my finished object, my Snowflower Diary March. So I stitched on that, and then the other thing that I stitched on from WIP-Go is my Summer SnapperLand. And that is by the beloved Bent Creek. As you know, Bent Creek is so for me. And it's 4 cards. I have completed this one, and this week I completed the 2nd card. So there's 2 more to go. So I'm going to start on the third card here sometime this week. So when I started this piece, this card number 1 was done, and this week I got card number 2 completed. Now there's some back stitching that needs to happen and some long stitches, but I've decided since I stitch in hand and I roll things up, I don't want to do that until all the stitching is done, and then there is a border that will go around it. You can see I started part of the border. What is interesting, I don't think it shows on camera, but I stitched this quite a while ago, and this is being stitched in barn gray. And I was talking to Erin about this when we were having coffee at the Issaquah Coffee Company, is I have 2 barn grays on my ring here, and one is still on the card, and then the other is in a floss away bag. All right, and so of course they were bought at different times and they were different dye lots. Yeah, guess what? When you're looking at this in person, it doesn't show up on camera at all, but this barn gray, which I think was from the floss away bag, has a whole lot more blue than this barn gray. This one is very, very, very gray. I don't see any blue overtones in it at all. And I kept looking at my chart and I kept thinking, what the heck is going on here? Did I stitch that first, that first box in the wrong color? And I was kind of, laying my floss away bags out, and then I realized, oh my goodness, I have got barn gray in a floss away bag, and that's probably what I used for the first one. And I probably bought a second one because barn gray is used throughout the pattern, and so I thought, well, I hope I'm not, I don't want to run short, so I think I probably bought a second one just to be on the safe side. Well, they're not even close to the same color. So Erin suggested, and I had a similar thought, that we'll do the outline of the first and the third in the barn gray that's in the floss away bag, and then the second and the fourth in the one that's hanging off the card, so that way it doesn't look like I made a mistake. It'll be very intentional. So hopefully when I'm done, it will look just fine. And I'm hoping that it won't be something that just sticks out like a sore thumb, and then I'll think I have to restitch it, which I really don't want to do. I like finished objects. But if I have to, because it looks like an error, I will. But that was one of the 2 Whip-Go pieces that were called this month. The other one is Cinnamon Stars, and I did not get any stitching time on Cinnamon Stars this week, but I'm hoping next week I will get Cinnamon Stars back into my stitching rotation. But there we are on Summer SnapperLand. So fun. And then the last thing that I stitched on this week is from the Date With Your Stitching box. I started stitching on the Hands-On Design a Waffle Lot, and this was exclusive to that Black Needle Society box. So if you got the box, you got the same pattern. If not, I'm sure Kathy will release it. She is very good about kind of holding it back for a while, and then boop, there it goes. So there we are. I have completed all of the waffle checkerboard pattern. So that is all stitched up this week. So that is fun. So now I will have to start working on all these little flowers, and I'm thinking that's going to take me a long time because that's a lot of stopping and starting. So hopefully it'll stitch up quicker than I think it will, but it does make me think, oh, that's gonna take a while, and especially since I'm stitching it on white. I really don't want to drag the red thread from square to square. I think that will definitely show through. So I think I'm gonna have to start and stop and anchor my thread and start and stop and anchor. So I think that'll probably take me a little bit of time, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm here for it. I totally love the look of this pattern, so I want to finish it. And if it takes me a long time, who cares, right? I'm here for all the stitching. So, and then this bag was also in my Date with Your Stitching box from the Black Needle Society. So there you go. So that's all my stitching this week, you guys. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it sure took me a long time to do it. I don't know if I was just goofing around or what was happening, but that's okay. Okay, the other thing that I got up to this week is, I think I showed you my stitching journal a few episodes back, and I just have not had a chance to sit down and start using it. So I finally went through and filled in my project list. So I've got a list of all of the projects that I'm stitching on. So this is just kind of like a master list, and then it tells you what page further back to go to for that particular whip. And then you can list things like you can talk about the floss. Maybe you did some substitutions and you want to keep track of it, so that's fun. You can talk about up here your fabric, the fabric you used, the count. You can put down the day you started stitching it, the day you finished stitching, and then the day you FFO'd it, and then any other notes that you wanted to make. So like this project right here is for my Snowflower Diaries Joyful World pieces, and so I did put in here that I've got January and April stitched, and January is FFO'd, that I started the March one on the 27th of February, and I finished stitching it on the 7th of March. And then I did a few little color conversions, so I just made notes of those conversions. I am absolutely adoring my stitch journal. This is by Christy Yu, and she has an Etsy. It's called As the UYOO Flies. So if you want a fantastic stitching journal, I am loving this thing. I just absolutely adore this. So I finally started keeping track of my projects in my stitching journal, and it's making me super, super happy. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we have some haul to talk about. I told you I met Erin at Threadneedle Street, which is my local L&S, and I picked up a few little things. And one of the things I picked up was some John James needles, and I am wondering if John James needles are the ones that were from my Al Forrest embroidery kit. They seem similar. The eye on the John James is not as big as on the Bowen, so I'm wondering if these were them. So I'm going to try stitching with John James and see if I like them. I know that I've received kits with John James needles in them, but since I like my Bowens, half the time those little packs that come in the kits, I just set them aside because I don't need them. Okay, at my L&S Threadneedle Street, I bought 2 charts, and you can't leave behind the Prairie Schooler, right? So this is the 2021 Prairie Schooler Santa, and I saw somebody that had stitched them, but underneath it, instead of just putting like their initials and the date that they stitched on it, they put the date that the Santa, what year the Santa is. So, maybe you found the 1991 Santa and you stitched it up this year, but they put 1991, and I thought that was brilliant. So I need to start stitching Prairie Schooler Santas. I have tons of them, and I have only ever stitched 5. I've only stitched 5. So I think in the future, when I stitch Prairie School or Santas, I'm going to put underneath the year that that Santa was released. So I like that. And then from With Thy Needle and Thread, I picked up this booklet, Jelly Bean Jubilee, just filled with spring and Easter patterns. Look at those. Oh, I just adore these. So there's 3, 4, 6, there's 7 patterns in here, and I just could not leave this behind. In fact, I had seen somebody, I think it was Java Girl Stitches, had released her latest FlossTube, and it had stitched a number of these and referenced this book, and I was thinking, oh, I hope they have one, and they did. Yay! Denise at Thread Needle Street came through for me. She had the booklet, so I'm going to start doing some Easter stitching. And then when I was there, I found this beautiful aqua blue fabric, and I think some of these are going to look super cute on this fabric. So I picked this up. Picked up some white Linda, 27 count white Linda. You can never have enough of that sitting in your stash. So those were the physical things that I purchased. Oh, that's noisy. Sorry. And then I did do some online purchases. I did order from the Needlework Expo. What did you guys order? I ordered 5 things. I ordered the spring, what is it? Hands-on Design, Spring Chalk Talk. That's what it was. I ordered that, and I also ordered the Block Party the 25th with all the different reindeer around it. I can hardly wait to get my hands on that. I ordered Gather Here by Hello from Liz Matthews, which is just stunning, and I can see that in my dining room, by my dining room table, where we all sit and have meals together when we have company over. That's gonna look fabulous. So I did that. What else could I not leave behind? There's one more. Oh, and the Riveris had a kit limited to Needlework Expo only called C, which comes with a box. And oh man, you know, nautical things are always up my alley, so I ordered that. And the other things that I've ordered are PDF downloads. I went over to, what is it called? Modern Folk Embroidery, that's what it is. And I ordered their 2 Japanese alphabet samplers, and they're great. One is the katakana, and the other one is the hiragana charts. And I took Japanese language and literature as my major in college at the University of Washington, so those are just right up my alley. I can hardly wait to stitch those, and it's charted in pinks and grays. I think I'm going to do them in reds and blacks. The pink is beautiful, but in my head, I see red. So I think I'm going to convert it to a semi-red sampler, but I think I'm going to do the katakana and the hiragana in black, so it'll really pop against the red in the border. So those are the things that I purchased. I am excited at the thought of stitching all those things, which makes me want to stitch more. I'm gonna have to give up laundry, right? Let's all give up laundry for the month of March. Nobody does laundry, we just all stitch. Okay, so that was my haul. And then in terms of plans, this week I am going to jump on Cinnamon Stars. I want to get my 5 days of stitching polished off for Cinnamon Stars for Whipco, and then I am going to start on the Jelly Bean Jubilee. I'm going to get some of those pieces done. I was completely enabled by Becca of Sambry Stitches to go out and buy a couple of Ray Dunn pieces. You guys, I'm just like, apparently, like I said, the wheels have fallen off the bus in terms of buying stuff. So I only bought 3 Ray Dunn pieces, but they're spring themed pieces. So I definitely want some of those jelly bean, with a needle and thread pieces stitched up to be displayed around that. When I get them stitched up and my little display put in my front hall, I'll take a picture and I'll insert it in the video so I can show you what I got up to. So that's pretty much all my haul, except I just realized, I glanced over, I did buy a project bag. I was lucky enough to get a Christine Stitch All the Things project bag, and it is, like I said, nautical stuff is for me, and I was able to snag this. It is adorable. Thank you, Christine. I am so happy with it. It's got a beautiful lining. It's got 2 big pockets, and then Christine threw in a 321 DMC floss, which is my favorite red. So just couldn't be happier that I got one of her project bags. So that is the stitching. If you need something to read, I'm going to suggest this. Class Act. This is the sequel to The New Kid by Jerry Craft. This is a graphic novel. However, it's really, really well done. Bit of a social commentary on, you know, black kids versus white kids going to a prestigious high school. It's well done. It's humorous. It does make you think about the state of race relations, which is never a bad thing. So I highly recommend read Class Act. If you have not read the first one, which is New Kid on the Block, read that one first, then go read Class Act. They pretty much where New Kid on the Block ends, Class Act starts. So very little space in between. It is a wonderful read, and it's so well done. I gotta tell you, I am thoroughly enjoying reading graphic novels right now. Who knew? Graphic novels. It's where it's at right now. It's where all the cool kids are, I'm finding. Okay, that is all I've got for you guys. Have a great stitchy week. I will see you next time. And as I always say, stitch happy, my friends. Okay, see ya. Bye.